The Judas in my mind. Oh yeah. What's happening, guys? It is your host of the Fig Show, Caleb Crocker, and today we are unboxing Unrivaled Series 6 Y2J, the Demo God, Chris Jericho. But before we do that, I want to make one thing clear, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I was mocking Fozzy at the beginning of the video. I was not showing my love and my admiration. I was mocking it hard. And the reason being, it's not even so much that I hate their music, but Chris Jericho in those music videos is just so phony to me. He does not, a rock star is badass, and nothing about his music videos are badass. It looks like a guy trying to be a rock star, playing the part of a rock star, but definitely not a real rock star. It looks like 6-year-old Caleb Crocker thinking he's a rock star, singing in the microphone. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I love Jericho. I think he's one of the all-time greats. I think he's got one of the greatest work rates of all time, right? And especially if you're talking about his WCW and his early WWE stuff. I'm not a huge fan of him in AEW, but with that being said, I love you, Chris. I know you're not watching, but if you stumble across this, if you're one of the 5 people who stumbles across this video on YouTube, I still think you're a great worker. So with all that being said, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, here Le Champion is still in his plastic prison, and since this is my very first AEW figure unboxing, I did just want to take a moment to show off the box and just point out how beautiful I think it is. I love the overall design of the box. I love the color scheme of the box, and I'm not going to point out everything that you can see with your own 2 eyes on the box, but I just think it's very nice. So let's go ahead and bust him out of that plastic prison. All right, guys, here he is out of the package. It's your boy Chris Jericho, and we're gonna start at the same place I start with every figure, and that's with the accessories. Now, your boy Y2J, he only comes with one accessory, but what an accessory it is. Now, that accessory is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and you know what? I've got pretty mixed emotions about it. It's a pretty nice looking belt. It's actually one of my favorite design belts in all of pro wrestling. Even though I'm not a huge AEW fan, the belt is just absolutely gorgeous, and you cannot deny that it's one of the all-time greats, right up there with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But one thing I really do not like about it is the strap. The strap feels really cheap. It feels really flimsy. And a second ago, I was trying to close the belt together, and I mean, I couldn't even close the straps back here, and I'm still struggling because if you see it, it's just so flimsy that it bends right along with it. Now there it is, I got it to go, but it does not feel like I have to try that hard with the Mattel championships. It feels like the strap is a lot higher quality. It feels like the belt is a lot higher quality, and honestly it feels like their figures are higher quality, but we're going to get to that in a moment. But ladies and gentlemen, here is Y2J's only accessory, and I think it is beautiful. It's the championship. Alright, guys, now that we have checked out the accessories, it's time to check out the head scan on this Chris Jericho. And I've got to say, I think Jazzwares did a pretty good job. I'm not sure who does a better job, Jazzwares or Mattel, but you know what? This looks a lot like Y2J Chris Jericho to me. I really dig the screaming face. But I know that a lot of people kind of complained about the screaming face. We're not as big of a fan of it. So to each their own, but I really dig it. I think it's a good head scan. I think it looks a lot like the man. Another thing I think really stands out on this Chris Jericho is the Le Champion bandana that he has tied around his neck. I think that's super cool, and I like that a lot. Very unique. I think Jazzwares did an incredible job with the tattoos, especially with the coloration. It is hard to get a lot of detail on little figure tattoos and make them stand out and really be able to tell what they are. But you know what? This has an insane amount of detail. I can actually tell what almost every single tattoo is. You can see this blue face up here clearly. You can see you can see almost everything clearly. And as far as tattoos go, man, I'm really gonna have to say that Jazzware seems to be doing a much better tattoo on a figure than Mattel. Jericho comes equipped wearing some pretty standard gear here. Just black wrist tape, black tights, black boots, black knee pads, and just a little bit of yellow trim on the tights. Not a lot of design, but I like it. One thing I will say is it reminds me of the Seth Rollins top picks that I did a 1-minute unboxing of. I think the tights are kind of similar to that without looking at the figures side by side. Alright guys, we've talked about the accessory, we've talked about the head scan, we've talked about the gear, we've talked about those phony music videos that I absolutely hate. But one thing we have not talked about is the actual figure itself in terms of articulation and quality. Now this is my first Jazzwares figure, and first off I was a little concerned because I've seen people having these figures break on them online in different Facebook groups, and I've got to say, I mean, quality wise, it does not feel as good as a Mattel, especially on the arms. The arms are one place that these arms just, I'm worried about them. They feel loose, they feel weak, and I really don't want to break them off, so I got to be careful with them. As far as the ab crunch goes, man, I'm pretty sure this is what Ultimate Editions were going for, but Jazzwares has done it so much better. Ultimate Editions have barely any ab crunch, and the top of the abdomen just looks huge and just so ridiculous and phony. But Jazzwares has managed to not only just get an insane amount of ab crunch, and I mean insane, I mean he's really crunching those abs, but they have also managed to keep the abdomen from looking just huge and goofy. So I've got to give Jazzwares a lot of credit there. Another thing that I got to give them credit for, right off the bat, they went with double jointed elbows. That's something that took Mattel years to get around to doing. I mean, everything about these figures are really comparable to the Mattel Ultimate figures in terms of articulation and how well they can move. Now, these do have bulged shoulder joints as opposed to the butterfly shoulder joints that the Ultimates have, but you know what? I like these shoulder joints, and I like everything about the articulation. I actually think I like these Jazzware figures better than Elites, except for I'm worried about the quality of material. But as far as like articulation and how well they are made, how well the articulation was made, rather, not how well the figure was made, I think it's very quality. I think Jazzwares has done a phenomenal job here, and I'm so happy, and I just cannot wait to get more and more AEW Jazzware figures, because I'll tell you what, I've already got a handful that I'm going to do some unboxings of, but really unboxing this one here and getting my hands on it has made me want to get so many more, and I absolutely love it. Alright guys, that does it for the Chris Jericho Unrivaled Series 6 unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now it's time to get the Demo God and that beautiful championship belt into the fig bed. Alright guys, that has been the video. If you dug it, be sure to like, subscribe, get down there in those comments and let me know what you thought. And remember, we're only gonna get better from here.